Well, hello and welcome to Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're in Season 3, Episode 149, first ever Edwin McCain Misheard Song Lyric. The misheard song lyric is, I'll be your dragon soldier. And then the correct lyrics is, I'll be your crying shoulder. So it's his song, I'll Be, and the song is written and produced and sung by Mr. Edwin McCain. So I totally forgot about this song, to be honest, until I actually had visited Dallas, Texas, and that's in the United States for those of you listening outside of the United States of America. And I was there for work last week. And of course, I was able to find, shocker, a live karaoke band on a Wednesday night. So what is live band karaoke? It's essentially like karaoke, but instead of the empty orchestra, is that what karaoke means in Japanese, a track, it's actually a full live band playing behind you with the lyrics either in front of you on a piece of paper, or they've timed it on an actual electronic screen, which this group did. They were called Time Machine, and they were amazing, by the way. So we found this place Wednesday night, brought my coworkers after our second day of a long ass day of work stuff, and we took Ubers and Lyfts and trekked to the Dallas suburbs to find and partake in this spectacle. There were actually a couple of great singers. One was this couple that was sitting to our left. They both had amazing voices, but they were the kind of karaoke snobs that only clapped either for their friends or themselves. So if anyone's I guess in their world, they're the only ones that can sing well. So they were kind of snobbish. The husband actually ended up singing this late 1990 song by Edwin McCain. It came out in 98, I think, called I'll Be. And when I heard him sing it, we kind of giggling because it almost sounded like he was singing Dragon Shoulder instead of Crying Shoulder. So that's what we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about today. But before I delve into the song, I do want to just kind of go into a little bit of a rabbit hole for a second. So, like I mentioned with this couple, both had amazing voices. So did another singer, which she went by the stage name Anthem, and they all sang after me. The interesting thing is they all had amazing voices. However, their stage presence wasn't as great. So I'm going to go into that a bit. You see, there's this fine line of humility and confidence that the crowd will pick on. So you can have the best singing voice known to man, but if you come up on stage too smug or too confident, the crowd won't like you even before you've sung that first note. I've seen it, and it happened that night. Singers who have average voices, not even the best, but are humble, seem to get that crowd support and the most cheers. Everyone loves a good underdog. I too love a good underdog, and it's the same for karaoke. So usually when I go up on stage, I go up with a lot of humility, even kind of concern on my face, like, oh, I hope this works out. I mean, I know this song, but things can happen, especially with live band karaoke, you just never know. And you do it with some humility and a little bit of prayer. Some people will pick up, actually most people will pick up on that, and they will either give you a smile for support, which I always appreciate, and I look right at them, or sometimes they'll shout out, you got this, which I look at them and like, yes, I got this. So that is what brings the crowd to your side. Once you hit that right note and bring home the last one, you will have them cheering till the end. And so that is my observations regarding the singer of this song that did it. Wonderful voice. He sounded almost just like Edwin McCain, but he was too smug. And so he didn't get a lot. I mean, he got the faint clapping. And then there was another gal that's also great voice. She sang White Stripes song. She even did a mashup with that song, with Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I looked around, no one was paying attention, because when she first went up on the stage, she had this air of, I'm better than all of you. Plus she had a stage name, which I'm sorry, I don't do stage names for karaoke. I am not a professional singer. So that kind of put everyone off. And then you could tell in the middle of the song, she was like not feeling the love from the crowd. And it was kind of embarrassing. She was trying to get them to win, and you already lost them. Like I said, before the first note is sung, just FYI for those of you who want to try karaoke, just be your true self. And if you're nervous, just be nervous, because the crowd will love you regardless. So there you go. So enough about my karaoke observations. Onto this song. So not about a dragon soldier, even though that would be awesome. I'll Be is a song written and produced by American singer Edwin McCain, Who is he? Well, he was born Edwin Cole McCain, born on January 20th, 1970. So he is a couple years older than I, and he is an Aquarius. He is an American singer-songwriter and guitarist. His song, I'll Be, I was right, 1998, and he did another one a year later in 1999, I Could Not Ask for More, were radio top 40 hits in the US, and 5 of his albums have reached the Billboard 200. In all, he has released 11 albums, with his first 2 being released independently. A little bit about Mr. Edwin McCain. So he graduated from Christ Church Episcopal School in Greenville, South Carolina, and briefly attended the College of Charleston and Coastal Carolina University. That's at least what Wikipedia says, and other online sources that I was able to find. But did you know that he's actually a longtime touring friend with Hootie and the Blowfish? Remember that? Only want to be with you, that Hootie and the Blowfish. And the Edwin McCain band signed with the same label with them, which is Atlantic Records at the time. So back in 1994, Edwin McCain recorded his first major label album called Honor Among Thieves under the Lava Records imprint. And apparently under the Lava Records, they had Matchbox 20, Kid Rock, and Jewel. So some big names at the time. Then the record was released in 1995. His second album, called Misguided Roses, was the one that had I'll Be on it, and it was a major hit for him in 1998. This song also is featured on what they call the charitable album Live in the X Lounge, along with a live version of Solitude. It was also featured in a 2000 drama television show called Higher Ground, as well as a 2004 teen flick, A Cinderella Story. So, every time he has it, hey, he's making some money, cha-ching. And then fast forward to the summer of 1999, which marked Mr. McCain's arrival of his third album called Messenger, which included a top 40 hit. I didn't know about this. So the famous songwriter Diane Warren penned I Could Not Ask for More, and it was produced by Matt Sorletic, who worked with, I guess, Matchbox 20 and Collective Soul, and Noel Golden. Messenger was recorded at the Tree Sound Studios and Southern Tracks in Atlanta, as well as Record Plant Studios in LA. I Could Not Ask for More was also featured on the soundtrack of a 1999 film called Message in a Bottle. The other thing about Mr. Edwin McCain is he's also a ship restorer. I didn't know this. And he was also seen on a former Animal Planet TV show called Flipping Ships, so like flipping houses, but they did one on a ship that he did. So that's pretty cool. And then way back on January 22nd, so actually 2 days after his birthday, because he was born on January 20th in 2017, Edwin McCain sang the American National Anthem at Gillette Stadium for the AFC Championship game between the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then on November 29, 2019, he also released his first Christmas album called Merry Christmas Baby. So a little bit about him, let's go back to the song, I'll Be. So it was released back on September 8, 1998, as the first single from his second album, like I mentioned, called Misguided Roses in 1997. He recorded an acoustic version of the song for his follow-up album, Messenger. The radio version, which I'm the one, that's what I'm used to hearing or knowing, I'll Be, which was released on a CD single with Grind Me in the Gears as the B-side. It differs from the album version. Its opening melody is played with an electric guitar as opposed to acoustic on the album. Good to know. So if you have it, check it out. And the vocal and saxophone lines differ. And upon its release, the song reached number 5 in the US and number 52 in Canada. It did quite well. Okay. And then I mentioned on December 22nd, 1999, McCain recorded a version with Warren Hines on a live concert album from the 11th annual Christmas Jam. It's a benefit concert for Habitat for Humanity, that's cool, in Asheville, North Carolina. The album is titled Wintertime Blues, the benefit concert. And in 2015, McCain re-recorded I'll Be for his EP Phoenix. So, it doesn't hurt to re-record it. It's your song. As the internet shared, although, I always knew it, just like most people use it for a popular wedding song. But McCain actually said it's really more, quote unquote, of a prayer, and written in a moment of personal desperation after a breakup. The idea that maybe if I write my future, it'll come true. So McCain said, in a quote, "It was the end of a relationship for me, and it was also an admission of inability to function in a relationship. Hence the love suicide line. Love suicide, that line. And it was the hope that I would be better, grow, and be better as a person. I was struggling with some personal problems at the time, as well as So it was all of those things. It was the admission of failure and this prayer that I could be a better person, wrapped up as sort of the end of a relationship kind of thought. And it was something that I said to a girl that I've been going out with. I knew she was waiting, and I always said to her, don't ever look back on this in any other way than I'll be your biggest fan. You know, I'll always be a fan. So that's that lyric in the song, greatest fan of your life. So that's in the chorus, I believe. So how did it do? Well, I said earlier, it's done quite well in the US. It debuted at the Billboard Hot 100 Airplay chart on the issue date back on February 28, 1998. And of course, went on to peak to number 4 there in November in its 39th week on the chart. So it's a slow climber, but you want them just to keep going, right? Under that chart rules at the time, it required songs to have a physical single release. ILB was initially ineligible for the Billboard Hot 100, but on September 8th in 1998, they did a very quote-unquote limited pressing of the song was issued, making it eligible. Very smart. It debuted at number 7 on the Hot 100 on the issue date, September 26, 1998, and ultimately peaked at number 5 the following week. Very good. While it was only his second single to chart, it became his first and only top 10 hit and his biggest hit. I mean, I would just love one hit, right? So good for you, Edwin McCain. And in pop culture, it was used in a couple TV shows. I'll give you some. So they say at the height of the song's popularity back in 1998, it was featured during a pivotal moment in the first season finale titled Decisions on the WB series Dawson's Creek. We all know that, or if not, look it up on YouTube. And in the episode of The Office titled Here Comes Trouble, the song is covered by Andy Bernard's a cappella group. Oh my God, I have to check that out. What about the video? Have you checked it out? It's about 31 million hits, not bad. It's a lot of footage of Mr. Edwin McCain singing in front of his band with what looks like New York City and footage of a girl he's singing about and taxis, lots of taxis. Pretty nondescript, but perfect for the time in the 90s. And it shows off his vocal prowess, right? But that's pretty much it. I couldn't find anything about who directed it and what have you, but 31 million hits on YouTube, not bad. But I love it. I'm glad that that gentleman in Dallas, Texas, sang it very nicely. Unfortunately, he just didn't get a lot of clapping because he was very, just very hotty-toddy out there. But it's not about singing your dragon soldier. It is about crying shoulder. So hopefully you learned a lot. If you have any great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, send it to any of our social media sites at Facebook at Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. You can send it via Twitter as well as our Insta, as the youngins say, or you can be old-fashioned like me and just send it to our email at misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs, with an S, at gmail.com, and we'd love to talk about your misheard song lyric and maybe give you a shout out, all right? So till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye!